Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Good. What you have here, let's make some other color. Right. What we have here is the Spotfire client, SF client. Okay. Now there is something else, which is the Spotfire server. SF server. This process of pushing the DXP is called publishing the DXP. This is what you will be doing. Now, this is not the only thing that you will be doing. On Spotfire, on the tools menu, you will see something called information designer, which will help you to create information link to connect to database and do a lot of querying and a lot of advanced versions of querying and filtering, and a lot of things can be done, and these things will be saved on the server as well. And Spotfire server is also called the Spotfire library. All right. Okay. Now, unless you have a server, I won't be able to show you how the information link is created. I can only just draw pictures. See the point there?
Information link is the data, is the dashboard.
No, okay, I got it. Okay.
Link
You got confused. All right, okay. I'll say that again. You have been pulling in data into Spotfire right now, as of now, as either Excel sheets, or you can have CSV files or tab separated files. This is your data input. Okay. Now, Spotfire, that's things don't stop there. Okay. Spotfire supports the ubiquitous database. Use the database to connect. Now we can connect it in two ways. We can either directly connect, from the add data tables. You say you can directly connect to database, which is not the optimal way of connecting to a database from Spotfire. Instead, what you would be doing is you will be, hitting the tools menu of Spotfire as you've seen here, and then select the information designer. Okay, this is how information designer will look. And you'll have a window there, and on the side pane here you'll have two tabs. Okay, one of them would be called elements, and the other one would be data source. Okay, so what this means is you will have multiple data sources there. You will have a lot of other databases as well. So you'll configure data source here, and then whatever columns have to be added. And have you seen a SQL query?
Yeah, I can write some simple one.
Great. Okay, and a typical SQL query will look like you select column name from table, join the second table, join on condition on how the two tables are joined. Then again join the third table. I mean, as the number of tables that you have on condition joining. Then you have a filter statement. So, write this down. Select column 1, column 2, table 1. Let's give it as T1. Table 2. Change. It's just innovations. Okay. Okay. On condition given dot some key column equal to T2 dot key column. And then you have the where condition where you have proceed column 2 greater than. Okay, so this is how a typical SQL statement will look like. Now, you see that there's a lot of option for filtering the data at the level of data source, which is very, very powerful. See, when you pull data from Excel, you don't have any such option to filter data at the data source. You're pulling all the data in. Everything is in. Imagine this has got around 20 million records. Spotfire would crash with going in all the 20 million in the Spotfire. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to filter at the source. Filter at source. So do you understand do you realize the importance of filtering the data at the source there? Okay, otherwise it will crash. And that is one thing. Second is, you may probably will have to look at these 20 million records. Only catch is you don't have to look at it all at once. Maybe you're working in a company where you're handling the sales data and you have region-wise allocation of sales managers. So each particular sales manager need to look at only his particular region there. So he doesn't have to see all the data. Does that make sense? So it will be really great if and when a person logs into Spotfire and he picks some one particular control specifying what region he wants to see, only that filtered set of data for that particular region loads into Spotfire. And when another, everything is hosted on Spotfire server, and if somebody else is logging in, say, let's name him here, like this is the, he is from Asia Pac region. Now he is logging in, and then you have the EMEA. So he doesn't have to see Asia Pac. Asia Pac doesn't have to see EMEA. So if by some control we are able to say which region you want to log data, then you will maybe that you will load only that 1 million or 2 million or maybe less than that. You're not loading all the 20 million there. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. So that is called data on. Who is joined? Oh, Naveen. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Naveen. We started the discussion 5 minutes back. Hello, Naveen? Oh, I got it. You have muted it because you have that. Hey, hey, sorry for last minute change in plans. I had to really rush to get the Spotfire server installed on my machine. But that was not, successful. I couldn't do that.
Okay, I was trying to install like the thing, and it was installed.
Oh, good. So now it's your turn to showcase your skills, but not now. I'm just trying to explain to Bo why we need a server in the corporate setup.
Okay.
So I'll give you a quick recap of what we discussed. Bo, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, 1 minute. I'll mute it and.
Okay, you give me the chat updates. All right. Whenever I say something and I ask you whether you understood it or not, just say yes or no in the chat. Okay.
No. Okay.
I mean, that was for Naveen. I mean, I know you don't have any issues there. I mean, okay. Is that okay, Naveen? Yes? Yeah, no? I need to see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just say yes or no on the chat. You know, that's okay if you mute it. A quick recap. Why we need a server? Because so far what you've been trying to do is load data into Spotfire from Excel or CSV files. So this is not already evident. This is Excel. And this is CSV or tab separated files. Okay. Now this is fine, but when you have data there in database running into millions of records and you don't want to see all of them at the same time, then you would definitely would appreciate at some point of time to filter the data at source. Now information link gives you that option. Now the way you create information link is created from the tools menu, information designer, and it kind of acts like a SQL view, CSS simple script like that. And for that, for doing that, you need a Spotfire server. That was what we were discussing. You know, unless you have a Spotfire server, you won't be able to create information links, and I won't be able to show you how that is done. I'll be able to draw pictures and how to explain how that means. So that was why I had gone out. I wanted to get Spotfire server installed on my laptop. I mean, it's a cracked thing, but it didn't work. But I'll keep trying anyway. Coming back. So the idea behind the information link is that one, you can filter data at source. Second, you maybe you want to see all that 20 million records, but you don't have to see that all at the same time. Now the typical scenario would be you are handling your sales data and you are the one who is creating the visualization, and you will have what to say something.
Yes, so can you recap it, because I was missing, because sometimes your voice is not coming, that's all I missed.
Oh, where did you lose me?
This information, like designer.
Okay. So before I do that, Bo, can you explain what I said? I would like to know what you understood as well. Just second thing.
So this is like the client thing.
Yeah, hold on. Naveen, I'll come to that. Bo, hopefully you understood a little bit on what I said. Can you say that to Naveen? I just want to know how much you absorbed from that. That will be a feedback and benchmark for me as well. Just in simple terms, what have you understood?
I think I understand a little bit. I think if you need to use the information link through the SF, the Spotfire server. Without that, you can't do. And in the information link, you need usually you write some queries like the SQL query in order to show information you need.
Yeah, that's close.
I don't know if
yeah, that's okay. That's close. I mean, I appreciate that you said that much. Okay, Naveen. So this is again recap again. Okay. Now, what you have been typically seeing was you have Spotfire client, and that's all you've been looking at. No Spotfire server. Of course, you have access to Tibco cloud server, but you can't save anything on that. So what you've been trying to do is, if you see my screen, you have been inputting Excel file or CSV files. Oh, can you mute that? Okay, thank you. So you've been inputting data from Excel file or CSV file. That was okay to begin with. But as you start working with complicated data sources and bigger data records, you will run into millions of records, and maybe you will have to use all that data for creating the report. Now, connecting to a database and to bringing 20 million records in the Spotfire is not a advisable thing. Spotfire will crash, obviously, because it's an in-memory tool. Now, so we have to look at workarounds. Now, one workaround is that we can filter the data at the data source level, which is why we need something called information link. Now I'll get to the information link part later. So before that, let me make the point why we need information link. So one is, we might have, right now, we are adding Excel or CSV, bringing in all the data in that file. But if you do the same with database, it will also bring the same data, all of that into the Spotfire client, which will make it crash. So we don't want that to happen. We want to bring in only those data, those records which we need. So that's our primary purpose of creating information link. And information link is Spotfire way of creating a SQL view kind of an object. I will get into the details later, but high level, that's how that's why we need an information link. Now, another advantage of having information link is that even if you have to look at 20 million records, maybe you don't have to look at all of that data at the same time. Say, for instance, you are looking at sales data or distribution data, and obviously any distribution network or sales network will have region-wise head. So these region-wise head or the person in charge, we need not have to look at other regions. Say, for instance, person looking at the Asia Pac region need not be worried about what is going on in EMEA. So this guy, this regional manager for Asia Pac, need to see only Asia Pac data. So Spotfire gives you the option to pick the region where you want, region or any column that you configure. Okay, whatever you pick in that property control or something like what you create. I'll get into the details later. So you pick something on a control, and only that particular region or that value will be selected. So the Asia Pac guy, when he logs in, he selects from the drop down that what he wants to see is the Asia Pac region, and only data related to Asia Pac region, and he sees only that data. And that report will be hosted on Spotfire server, and when the guy from EMEA comes in and he says, I want to see only EMEA, he will see only EMEA. And this is not, what I'm talking about here is not bringing all the data into Spotfire and then filtering within Spotfire, but filtering data even before data is pulled into the Spotfire server. So this process or this feature in Spotfire is called data on demand. We'll see more on that later. But my point is, all this can be done, all this fine-tuning, tweaking, all can be done only if you have a Spotfire server. Unless you have a Spotfire server, you won't have access to Information Designer on the tools menu of Spotfire. This you have access here. You can access it from see this one, from Spotfire tools menu, but it won't lead to much if you don't have a server configured. And server is an expensive license, very, very expensive. Tibco has not quoted the price of the Tibco server on their website. All they have said is Spotfire client will cost around $2,000. Obviously, this will be a multiple of that. So this, I went today to get, a friend of mine had got a cracked version of Spotfire server installed on some AMD machine, inside a VMware image. And here in this VMware image, he had the Spotfire server and client and some database installed. So everything in one VMware image, and it was working on some other machine, but he tried to install it on my machine, it was not working. That was what I was spending my time on. That's how I, got late.
So we can only use the Spotfire client. We will not be able to use the server.
Unfortunately, that's true. But the plus side is 90% of the work that you do on Spotfire is covered on the client, except the thing that is the
except the information link.
Correct. Yeah, information link is a crucial concept in Spotfire. I'm not discounting that. And any interviewer on Spotfire will be asking you questions on information link. No doubt about it. But you can always explain things by what I'm telling you right now. And I can show you screenshots on how things are. Only thing is I can show you how that works in action. Just I've been showing you, walking through all that client. So those are bitter realities, and this because the cost is prohibitively expensive there. Okay, but as I said, the major part of it is covered in the this part of the pie. 90% is covered, 95% is done. The Spotfire is a data visualization tool. So what you'll be doing all the time would be creating visualization, understanding the data, analyzing the data. That is the most crucial part. Creating the visualization, creating the information link is kind of like creating tables in database, or a rough analogy there. So you're not losing much on that. Besides, I'll be explaining all the stuff anyway, and everybody who got in the Spotfire had come this way. Even when I joined, before I joined, I got this Spotfire desktop alone. I got to see the server only, after I started working on it. And initially we were looking at just the client and saving the DXP and sending the DXP across to the client, and the client then looked at the data or replaced the data, and that's how we initially didn't have access to the server, because most companies don't buy license to it unless they absolutely need it from the collaboration point of view. So you're not missing out much on that.
What kind of question they will ask about the information link?
Obviously, how to configure it, how to create it, why we need information link, and why because why, how, and a couple of instances when you do that, and certain configuration things, like these are the major topics that they typically say. Okay, what is information link? How do we create? What are personalized information links?
What a personalized?
We'll get there. I want to keep the questions open right now. Parameterized information links. Data on demand. Now, when I say what, there will also involve a question of why, how we do it. Okay, what's data on demand? Parameters. What was that? Let me see. Okay. And the how questions. These are the kind of questions they will be asking me, and there is a little bit of programming involved in certain other version. Some people do some advanced scripting in Spotfire called Iron Python. You might be worried on that, but you can safely say that you've not done that. That only very few minority in Spotfire do Iron Python and do C# extensions. These are very niche requirements that come in Spotfire. I have done Iron Python scripting. I do that, from time to time. I'll show you some scripting examples. So I recently done a training on, trained somebody on Iron Python in India, but he already had Iron Python installed on his office laptop. That's how you're using to see that things. Without that, it's difficult to do. This is how the typical line Python script will look like. See that? It's programming basically. So unless you're comfortable with programming, I don't think you want to get into that. And there's a minor topic involved in Spotfire, but it is crucial anyway at some point of time, but not now. Whatever you learn here will be enough to land because we are looking at the data visualization. These are the niche advanced topics there, very, very niche there. Unless you're working for GE or clients, they don't really get into Spotfire and Python scripting. These are some specific instances.
I think that position doesn't need programming. I think he just need to create a dashboard.
Yeah.
And something data visualization.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just something simple, I think.
Yeah, see, as you see here, the bulk of Spotfire work would be first analyze the data, do a lot of deep dive into getting the KPIs. Analyze the KPI. KPI is key performance indicator, which you might have learned in the recent business class that you took. And create design visualizations. And the communication part, communicating to the share. Something. Create dashboards, examine data, produce metrics from data. Yeah,
this
correct.
Is the
Correct.
requirement.
Yeah.
This is something simple, right?
Yeah. This is very, very straightforward.
Oh.
This is what Spotfire is all about, and those things.
Yeah.
Those things are the more core things and more technical part. And you don't really even have to worry about all these things. A working understanding of the information link, those things will be more than enough for you. And for Naveen to
I feel
landing.
like this is a good opportunity. Simply, it's very simple.
Yeah, obviously, and didn't you see the application working? Moving from Excel-based calculations and reporting in the Spotfire was the same quantum jump which business did when they moved from calculators to spreadsheets.
Okay.
Okay, that's a valid point that you can. That's a punchline you can say in an interview. And I did say that not some time back. But when they ask you why we need interactive reporting, because the major thing, this is now what I'm saying on this session is not the deep down technical side, but more on the functional side and how you impress the people. The more on the BS, doing the BS on the interview. So here, the most important thing that's about interactive reporting is that you don't have to start with the questions. You can play with the data, and then the questions will come up on its own. You click on the filters, you play with the visualizations, you investigate, drill down, and then you will see some anomalies in data. Then you drill down, dig deeper into it, and find out what's wrong, and probably copy the data, extract the data, and send to the concerned persons or stakeholders, and then try and figure out why. Do some deep dives on why something is going wrong, or some sales is dipping, or some particular control chart has got some issues, or why the KPIs are not met. Whereas in traditional reporting, you had to have these questions beforehand. You need to know what questions to ask. Here you don't have to. You play with the data. Anybody can fool around with the data, and then say, okay, something is wrong. That trend doesn't look correct or right. So there must be something wrong. You see that, okay, you don't need a law degree or a business degree to see that. In a line chart like this, and then you have big dip there, to find, to point out that there are some dip here, and why don't we find that here, why it says July 2014, and there is a big dip there, and why not find out why? And it doesn't take need a business degree to figure that out. There's a big dip there. So that. And then
what is?
All right. So line chart.
I think what is produce metrics from data?
Metrics is the same thing as KPI.
Oh.
Key performance indicators. See, for instance, okay, look at this. You have month-over-month sale of, maybe car sales. Okay. Now, how do you know whether the industry is progressing or not? Now, if you look at stock tickers, you just don't, you'll see a lot of, volatility in the market. Things will be moving, pretty fast. Something like this, stock tickers. So it's very difficult to say, okay, whether the industry is performing good or particular stock is performing good. It might be reacting to the whole industry sentiment, or it might be reacting to some particular thing in that particular industry segment at all, or maybe for that particular company. You might never know. Okay. So the way you put some benchmarks, very, very, very important in business. You have benchmarks for everything. As the popular saying goes, you can't manage anything, manage something that you can measure. Right? So you have benchmarks for everything, if something is performing well or not. So if you try to compare this particular point on the time series axis, see this? Right. So for that, this which color will you pick? This one. Okay. So if you try to figure out, okay, what's going on here, and maybe this is 10 July. Okay, you're trying to figure out what's going on here. You may not probably able to get much idea about it. But if you look at the last 3 months or last 3 days or whatever the time frame is, this one, this thing, whole thing, and an average of that. And then if it is moving up, then you can safely say that, okay, the whole trend is now moving up, except for some dips here. This is trending up now. So it's safe to put a bet here and make some purchase on the the shares or whatever you're betting on. So this is kind of a technical analysis that you see in stock market. Now the benchmark that you're using here is you're looking at the past 3 months data, or maybe past 3 time periods of data, which is in statistics called moving average. So that's your metric now there. Okay. So here, if you look at this is July, this is June, this is May, April. Okay, and this is the sales. This is the sales going on, and okay, you say okay, July is lesser than June. But who knows? Maybe every year, July, the sale is dipping. Probably there is something going on with the budget. The budget got announced. The new financial year has started. So, and the budget or the automobile policy has not been announced. So there is anticipation building that tax might come down. So people are delaying the purchase, and that's why in July, the sales is dipping. Or I have an interesting observation from India's context. You might never know. That might be a little foreign to you. But see, every year in March, okay, every year in March in India, cement sales go up. That will be peaking. March and in Feb, especially in March, because by April as the new financial year starts, the budget which was allocated for construction purposes in the last financial year will lapse. So the departments will try to frantically use that budget in the construction, and definitely cement demand will go up. So consumption will go up in March. So it is a given fact that in India every year in March cement sales will be really, really high. Make sense? Okay. Bo? Are you muted it?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. So just because looking at this chart again, so imagine this is the car sales. Just because sales in July is lesser than June doesn't mean that we are, the sales team is not doing a shoddy job in the month of July. Maybe every year in July the sales is dipping. So it makes much more sense if you compare the sales in July from last year to sales in July in this year. And if it is still low, then you might have an observation that okay, the sales in July is lower this year. But if it is higher compared to the sales in July in last year, then you're looking at a parallel period. This again is another metric. So when you are looking at a lot of ratios, comparisons, these are the things which you mean by metrics. And business can't move ahead without metrics. I've been recently reading on the project management, for that interview, and I would like to do that too. And there again, we have a lot of I see that there are a lot of metrics there, like earned value, projected value. So these are all metrics, and these are all ratios too, and based on how the project is performing, and it is based on these metrics that the data is analyzed and standardized. Okay, this is how you compare one set of data to another, and and say that okay, this is now okay, doing good, or comparing this. If you look at the share sales or sale of something else, you might probably have a base year, say from 1990 or 2001, and compare all the rates to that base year. So base year, so current value divided by base year becomes your benchmark, which is now your KPI. So if I say price of potato is maybe, I don't know, like $1, $2, or I don't know the actual price. Maybe let's assume it's $2. And we compare that to 1990's price, and we take a comparison of the price of potato in the last 10 years. And comparing that to a base price of 1990, then you'll see that it's going up or down. Instead, if you compare to the previous year, there might be a lot of fluctuation in the last 10 years, so your calculation might go wrong. In 2013, price of potato might have gone up, but in 2014 it might have come down. So if you compare 2014's value with the 2013's value, it may not give the exact results, because there will be a lot of other factors involved in the price of potato. But if you put a base year and compare all the value to the base year, it makes much more sense. When you're creating a ratio there, dividing the current value by the base year, and looking at the percentage there. Make sense? At least a little. It's a little difficult. You will not get all of that in one single shot, but these things will occur to you in over a period of time. These are all metrics. You'll have to read up on that. And Spotfire is used to highlight all that metrics. Used to look at all that metrics in the data and analyze the data and come across all the benchmark all the data it comes across, and then create some actionable insights. Business likes to call it actionable insights, so that business can make some decisions on it. For instance, I think I've already given you this example. You want to open a new shop, a new supermarket in a particular area. What are the things that you would look at? Which are the existing shops in that locality, maybe in the nearest 50 kilometers or some 40 miles. what is the average income of people staying in that area, how much is the footfall which the nearest supermarket or that gets in a period of time, or what is the average distance to the other community centers or other flea markets within 50 miles or 60 miles of the area, and that could be. So we take a lot of measures there, and benchmark it, and based on that calculations and ratios. So those are our metrics or KPIs, and based on that, how that looks good or not, we make the decision of investing there and opening a new shop. That's how business operates, and that's what most business want to operate. There might be some business or business owners who are, especially the small ones, low investment ones too, where they go by gut feel, but they may or may not. That's not practical anymore, especially when bulk of the businesses out there are harnessing the data, their own operational data as well as data available outside to make decisions. And if you are ignoring that, any business which is ignoring the power of data and ignoring that in the favor of gut feel, will be putting themselves in a lot of risk, which is why every business is trying to implement this decision support system or business intelligence to help them in making those business decisions based on data. And the excellent example is Amazon. Amazon gets the maximum sales out of its recommendation engine, which is a machine learning algorithm which looks at your previous purchases, your current page views, product views, and then gives you the recommendation at the bottom of the page that you're looking at. Okay? I know this was a mouthful, but did that make at least a modicum of sense? A little bit? Or did my blabbering get you bored? Hello? Go, Naveen?
Hello, hi, I'm here. Yeah.
Did you get it? I mean, see, this is what I'm saying is from the business point of view, not the technical side or the Spotfire thing. Okay. These things you'll get it when you look at the business side of the data visualization industry. What we have been looking at so far, until in this morning's class was the technical side of how to do it. This is what we're discussing over here is like what and why. It takes some time. This is finance and business.
Are there any specific books, something like that we can know more about this thing?
Why don't you look at khanacademy.org, and there are a lot of business materials, and the more you understand the business, the more the better you become in doing this stuff. Which I feel is the most crucial part of this job. It is not about knowing how to create visualization Spotfire. It's about why we create it, like how we create it. It's not even like what and why. And why we become one particular visualization there. For that we need to understand the business, because most of the time the business analyst won't be there for Tibco Spotfire visualization project. Can you mute it, please? Okay, thank you. Unlike other programming projects or development projects, I've seen that in whichever project which I've worked, I've seen that there won't be any business analyst for data visualization projects. The client and the developer will work, with same line of thought, without any business BA, business analyst going in between. So the report developer who is going to develop the reports will need to have in deeper understanding of the business, whatever they are going to work out. See, I've worked on SCM, I've worked on finance, worked on pharma. So all the time that I've worked on this, trust me, it was not just about Spotfire alone. There was a lot of business related data to be understood, comprehended, analyzed, assimilated, and then whatever I've understood and broken down into bits and pieces, then I have to reassemble them in creating the visualizations. It's not just about Spotfire. Understanding the business is crucial there, and that's what makes you more valuable in this industry, rather than your technical competence in creating dashboards in Spotfire. So that's one of the reasons why, even though Spotfire learning curve is so low, not everybody gets to do that. And after your training in business, I think both you have a good chance to do that. Of course, you'll have to, I don't know, like how much, in depth that you've gone into the business analysis, but any training in that will help. Did I give some gloomy thoughts? Hello?
Hello?
You sounded a little disappointed. I mean,
No, what? What's your question?
You sounded a little gloomy there. I thought you were a little disappointed about what I said.
No, I didn't. I'm just listening. I think it's pretty good for my background and combined with this software.
That's exactly why your manager insisted on getting understanding on Spotfire, because even though a report developer will be creating the advanced thing, most often the business stakeholders will be doing a lot of modifications, or sometimes even creating the reports or dashboards from the scratch. I've seen that doing, when like I'm a GE contractor, so I've seen a lot of stakeholders in GE creating those dashboards without the help of business report developers, and they get the help of the report developers only for the advanced features like the environment scripting, or creating the information link, and they have to have some filtering involved or some database querying. Otherwise, they do that. Or you can always create a data visualization dashboard using Excel data, and then replace that data source using information link. That normally happens to the business stakeholder will create a dashboard with sample data in Excel. Then they'll send the Excel DXP file to you. The report developer. Then the report developer creates an information link and uses the information link to replace the data source which the stakeholder had used initially. So the report will remain the same. Underlying data is changed. Underlying data, the structure is not changed, but the actual content is changed. Earlier it might have had only like maybe 20 or 50 records, but now hundreds and thousands of records come in. And it's dynamic too, because it's information link underlying. So any change in the database will be directly reflected in the dashboard. I know that's a lot of information in a small period of time, but that's how it is. Questions?
I think so. I think this for that position, I really think the knowledge of business is more. It seems like it's more important than the Spotfire.
Yeah,
here
you hit it spot on. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And understanding of the business is really, really crucial. And I recommend you take some free courses on.
What is this link for?
This is the latest movement. It's not latest. It's happening for some time now. It's called the MOOC, massively open online courses, and wherein the popular universities, the prestigious elite universities, are now offering courses online for free. Free as in free beer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, I saw this one.
Is it Coursera or Coursera.com or .org? Let's look at it. Yeah, Coursera.org is bad. It gives you a lot of information on that. It has got a lot of topics on it. You go through that, and there is Khan Academy as well. You look at the business side. There are a lot of learning materials for on the business side of business end of the business information. Like, how the benchmarks work. A lot of things, which is going to be really, really useful in the line of work, whether this be technical or functional. And most of the time you'll be expected to know that too. So we can come all in that in one session, but it really helps to understand that. Oops, 10:53. It's getting time to wind up for me. I need to jump on to another session. Sorry.
Okay, you have another session 11 p.m.
Yeah, another guy from US. He has got an interview on Monday with Emphasis.
The same.
Sorry.
You said there's another guy in United States have the interview on Monday.
Yeah. He has got Monday.
Do you think it's this?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, it is a short notice thing, but he's really struggling there, so he's needed some help anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just feel like if I learned that earlier, maybe I would do better in the interview.
You want
too short of time.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously. That's what I've been going through recently. Like I was reading a 700-page book on project management, and I'm just halfway through that. Luckily, I accidentally didn't call me today as well. So maybe they are going to reschedule the call and call me tomorrow or the after tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I mean, like by Monday, and then say they reschedule the call. I hope I'll be able to, at least go through the text. There was a lot of exercise in that. I've not done that anyway, but at least it gives me a little more time. So I understand that, pressure.
Yeah.
So I'll send the picture and the recording.
And the video. Yeah. Sure.
Video, yeah. It'll take some time for the video to be encoded. Okay. So,
yeah, okay.
Okay. So Naveen? Hope you got at least some from this.
Yes.
This has been really high. This has been really high level. I understand that. I would love to go deep down and at the low level, and try to explain all things, but we don't have the time here. But then you catch up with.
So we don't have a server, right?
No, nobody has a server.
Oh.
No one will be able to afford a server on their personal machine. It will be really expensive.
Okay. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Thanks for this session.
Okay. Alright, so I'll be sending the file first, and then I'll upload the video and share the link. I hope you got the link for the other video that we have done.
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good night.
Yeah, I mean, I got like more sessions left.
But I don't know, like, whether you're gonna sleep or no.
I'm not gonna sleep now. I need to help this guy. He stayed late until 2:30 in the night yesterday, getting all the stuff in. So he's pretty desperate there. It's not fair on my part.
Same on Tibco?
Yeah, obviously, yes.
Because you know other stuff, like I thought like you're teaching other.
Yeah, of course, yes. But he needs a Spotfire, and he's really desperate to get it done. I don't want to let him down. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for today's session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good day for you. Bye.
Bye.